Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of Get This Wisdom Live. I am your host for this episode and the other one, Shakti Sterner, um, editor in chief of Get This Wisdom magazine and creator of this here platform. As you can probably tell, it's really hard for me to express myself right now. However, um, firstly, as per usual, please allow me to provide my disclaimer. I am the mother of two children. I am streaming live from our home. They are up. They are moving around. It's 7 p.m. and they're doing what children do. You may hear them in the background. If so, know that they are fine. And please do not allow that to disturb you from the message. And if it gets to the point where I have to, tend to the children immediately, I will do so and either pause um the episode or continue on at a later date. Um you see the description, you see the title, so you know what we're about to discuss. Firstly, let's please have a moment of silence for NaZiyah Harris and all other children that have fallen victim to unnecessary, heinous acts of crime, and all children that have lost their lives due to sexual assault or anything of the like. Thank you for that moment of silence for the young baby. So today we got the public got the information that Jarvis Butts, who was accused of murdering her and all these disgusting acts violating her person, has indeed accepted the plea deal agreement today. Jarvis Butts was set to begin his trial February 23rd. However, as of today, February 12th, he has accepted the plea deal of guilty. Guilty of second degree murder. And we mm, mm, mm. There were so many different theories and whatnot, and some people really believe that NaZiyah was probably still alive somewhere. However, he took the plea, guys. He pled guilty, and news sources are saying that he revealed that he did indeed dump her body. Um, it's right now, from what I've gathered, um, he has supposedly dumped her in the Ridge River. Now, don't take that as concrete. Please do your own research and investigation. However, when it first became public knowledge that about at the beginning of this thing back in 2024, and I must provide some correction for my last NaZiyah video. NaZiyah was last seen by alive by her family and other people. January 9th, 2024. Um, it did not make its way to the Detroit Police Department until February, about 30 days later. Um, it's really hard when we talk about these types of things, right? You have to be a monster to not have a heart. But the whole city and just about the whole country, was hurting behind this child and rallying around her, and for this man finally to admit to murdering her, it hit kind of different, right? Um, he pled guilty to second degree murder and about five other charges against four other minors, from my understanding. So they basically grouped this whole thing together. NaZiyah was the case that he was being charged for murder. Then he had about five other charges that included other minor children. Um, he pled guilty to second degree murder. Um, and one of the stipulations of that plea was for him to give a truthful statement about what happened to NaZiyah. And for this sick son of a bitch to ruin that child the way he did, you know, not just her. Like, when did we become so corrupt? When did we become so cruel and heartless with children? How could a grown man, 40 something years old, 44, something like that, who has children, who has daughters, do something so vile? My heart hurts bad. It hurts bad because I have children. And that baby didn't have a fucking chance. She didn't have a chance. She didn't have a chance. She was only 13. Mm. And that's just when he killed her, y'all. He had been touching on that girl for years prior. Like, the text messages that were read in court went back to 2022. And that's only what they read in the court. So we know, at least court wise, he had been messing with that girl 2 years prior to it. He'd been touching her, sodomizing her. And I am so distraught. And I'm sure that a lot of people are feeling this way because this baby brought out a lot of love in the city of she brought out a lot of love across the country. And to know that that child was her innocence. You and this man sitting up in the jail, he know what he did to her. Sitting up in jail, talking on the phone, telling these broads he don't know why he in there. He don't know what they talking about. You cowardly motherfucker. And it's just crazy because That's the one that he murdered. That's not including all the other ones. This man basically was touching every child he could get his hands on, y'all. Y'all don't understand. His own daughter got on the stand and testified how her father put his penis in her vagina. Forgive me, y'all. I'm in my feelings. I'm, I'm in my feelings, y'all. Not only was he touched on more than one of his children. If I'm not mistaken, he gave another child an STD. Um, it's just sad. And if this is what justice for NaZiyah feels like, it don't feel good. Because that baby probably her remains, she's never coming home. He threw her away. He threw her away like she never mattered. Like her life never mattered. Like he threw her away. He dumped her. I don't even want to imagine the terror that baby went through at the end, by a man who she thought loved her. She thought that man loved her. She was so young and innocent, and her mind was so impressionable. And the baby was just so in need of genuine love. She was searching for it. She came from a background where her mother wasn't really present. The father wasn't really present. She is being so-called raised by her grandmother, but you could tell by the grandmother's public mannerisms that the grandmother didn't care like she should have. And if she did care, she had a real difficult way of showing that. Um, the baby just, at the end of the day, the baby just wanted to be loved, and she wanted to be important to somebody. It, it hurts because there's so many little girls like her that just want to know what genuine love feels like. I think NaZiyah's story is the story of a lot of us, right? We don't feel loved as little precious little girls. We don't know what that feels like, and we want that. So we grow and start to look for that in the wrong places. But as a child, you don't know. She didn't know. She didn't know. This man had been around her since she was 2 years old. This is someone that she knew. Well, maybe not knew in that sense, but someone that she felt she could be comfortable with. And this man looked at this little girl from the age of 2 years old, thinking about corrupting her. Kim Worthy, thank you. I'm going to say it because the prosecutor tends to get a lot of flack in Detroit. Kim Worthy tends to get a lot of flack. But I'm going to say thank you. So we finally got an animal like him off the street. And I say that with every fiber of my being. And I tend not to want to look at a black man in that way. That makes this even more difficult to digest and to process. This is not easy to discuss for me personally. Like I said, I never met the baby. Never once laid eyes on her. Never been in the same area. Never met any of her family. Before the story hit the public, I didn't even know the poor baby existed. But even in the midst of that, a lot of us felt that way. A lot of us didn't know her. Pardon me, but we were touched by what happened. And today, for me personally, maybe the family, of course, feels different. Maybe they feel a form of justice and vindication. And I hope that they do. Because at the end of the day, that baby was their baby. She's our baby, but she's their baby. And hopefully they can start to get some type of closure now that this man is pled guilty and revealed that he dumped her body. Hopefully, there's very little chance that her remains will be recovered. It's been 2 years. It's been 2 years. But hopefully they can start to cope and heal. I speak that over the immediate and biological family members of NaZiyah Harris. I do. And I hope that all of us as a community can support those that really cared about her and send them our healing thoughts and energy, because if this is affecting or touching us in a community like this, we can't even imagine how her biological family members feel, the ones that do care, because I'm assuming that there are a few that really did care about this baby. Whether they cared enough and enough time, that's neither here nor there. But they had to sit in the courtroom and hear those text messages. They had to sit in the courtroom with this man, knowing that this man was the one that did something to her. They had to sit there and be civil and not grab him by the collar. Because I don't know if I could have been that strong enough, honestly. So I give them I commend that their family. I commend that family. The ones that do care about her, because the burning I'm feeling in my chest, and I don't even know this baby. It's like, mm, 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 mm. So we thought we were going to get a trial, but I guess now that he has accepted this plea, there's really no need to move forward with the trial. His sentencing is set for a month from today, which ironically is my birthday. His sentencing is scheduled for March 12th. And I'm not sure if they can, I don't know the conditions of the actual rivers here, the bodies of water, but I'm assuming that they're still partially frozen from the winters that we have here in Detroit. So even if, excuse me, by any chance that they could locate her remains, which is a very, very, very rare thing, I'm assuming that the bodies of water are just still too much frozen for any type of real search and discovery at this point. Maybe when they, unthaw and the weather, warms up a little more. Maybe they can go see if they see her remains anywhere, but I I doubt that. But again, I'm not a, excuse me, I'm not a specialist or anything, so I can't say that 100% that's what that's going to be or not. Um, I just know that this has been a very, very emotional case, um, very sad case, a case that didn't have to be if certain things were not done, like Shannon, her aunt, deciding to have children with a convicted pedophile and have that man around not only her children, pardon me, but other minor children in the family as well. And forgive me on my coughing. I told you guys I have some a little cold still. Um, but yeah, again, we're gonna have a another moment of silence for NaZiyah, but very in the near future. I was in the middle of planning a panel on the platform regarding NaZiyah. Um, I don't know if I should do that now with the discovery, but I think that we'll move forward because we have to use this as a catalyst to keep going. It's not only one NaZiyah, there's many different NaZiyahs just with a different name and a different face. And we all gotta just try to stop try to stop whatever this is that is allowing this to happen to innocent children. You know, little girls and little boys deserve a chance to live. They deserve a chance. And with that, we're going to have another moment of silence for the young baby NaZiyah Harris, who Jarvis Butts took a plea deal in murdering her today. And not only for her, but any other child that has fallen victim to an adult sex offender. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, peace and love.